executive session. Not 10.
Not 6.
Yeah.
I didn't. Had nothing to do.
Perfect calculator. Is that Heather? Heather decided to.
I
She unmuted, by the way.
Hmm?
She just unmuted.
Sorry.
Who are you talking about? Oh, I'm guessing he bought all this. There he is, right there.
It's very organized. Why are we getting beer from two vendors, Joe?
From Lucky's and because they didn't order enough for the 2 tournament. So
They used to call that shotgun. We
shotgun.
didn't order enough. Yeah, they'd have a runner that would go. It wasn't wholesale prices that you bought at cost.
I'm not sure.
Tobacco
What they,
is-
can you tell by the invoice that they bought it?
Because I don't know how much each of the items cost. It just says. Because
It just says the
That
amount and not how
Lucky's
much.
does, but the other place doesn't.
No.
But I'm sure it's in there. I just didn't look at it.
Heather, do you know when we buy from Lucky's Libations, do we pay their
Looks like a
cost or do they
BMW estimate.
cut us a
When I was in Kansas.
Well, I looked at it all weekend. I thought,
no idea?
It's in there.
BMW
So you
estimate
can
when I
look
was
at it when
working
he
on
goes
cars.
through. He can pull those up.
27,000 for the
Because I think
backhoe.
they're both listed.
Repair.
Oh,
probably
Heather
Lucky's
said
cost.
that Ann Hager doesn't sell two of the kind of beers that our people
Oh,
want, so they're getting
requesting.
it at Lucky's,
That
but
makes
she doesn't know what we're paying,
It says it on those receipts, I'm sure.
probably.
They can
I
call.
just didn't look. That makes more sense.
Turn my phone off. Dang, I have a whole, my phone was already off. So I've missed 5 million phone calls.
Oh, yeah. They can call. It's
She's saying with my nose. Right.
Ah, I didn't put my name.
call a meeting to order. Heather, would you do a roll call, please?
Vanessa Arthur, first ward.
Here,
Lucas Stansbury, second ward.
Present.
Dennis Everett, third ward.
Present.
Daryl Westlaw, fourth ward.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll do the invocation. Lord, be with us tonight as we go through our meeting and stuff, that we do things that are proper and good for the people in the city of Girard. Ask this in Jesus' name, amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion for acceptance of the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Nobody for public forum. We'll go on to regular business. Item A, audit presentation.
Good evening. Neil Phillips from Jared Gilmore and Phillips prepared your independent audit for this year. Has everybody got their little blue book? All right. Let's skip past the letter that's in your copies and dive right into the audit report. Page 1, 2, and 3 is the independent auditor's report. The first paragraph talking about what we audited, being the city of Girard as of December 31st, 2024. Second paragraph down there talks about the fact that we have a basis for an adverse opinion. You have in the state of Kansas, we're allowed to actually follow what they call the regulatory basis of accounting. Biggest difference there is we do not put a price on our infrastructure and our capital assets and depreciate it out over its useful life. The slang term would be the Kansas cash basis and budget laws. Can't spend it if we don't have the money in the fund. Can't spend it if you don't have that public approval, that budget process. Third paragraph down there is actually the most important paragraph. It is called an unmodified opinion on the regulatory basis of accounting, which what that means to you is based on the testing, we feel like you have a materially accurate representation of what happened here during the year and what happened at the end of the year without any further modification needed. That's what the unmodified term means. We got to talk about the unmodified opinion and the basis for adverse opinion. Then you got management's responsibilities down there at the bottom. Continues on to the next page with the auditor's responsibilities. Then we talk about the supplemental information and the fact that you're going to see that everything in the little blue book here has been audited. And then the very last paragraph on bottom of page 3 talks about government auditing standards. Because of the federal money that actually flowed through the city this last year, we had an additional layer of testing that we do. A lot of times auditors will actually hand you 2 separate reports, an AICPA one and the government auditing standards one. We put them in the same binder because they call it a single audit reporting package. So we think it makes better sense to just bind them together. But it's telling users financial statements that those audit reports are out there. Now the next page, statement number 1, statement number 1. It's where we spend the majority of our time. It's defined by Kansas statutes to show users at a glance that we're in compliance with the cash basis laws of the state of Kansas. 4th column over, ending unencumbered cash. If you glance down through there, if any of those were negative, that would be a violation of Kansas cash basis laws. If you glance down through there, you can see that all of our funds were positive this last year. Now, I like this statement. They changed it up. It's been about 5-7 years ago. I like this statement because, a lot of times people in the city will hear we have $16 million and they want to know why we're not doing this or why we're not doing that. And this kind of helps break that down. Like the very top line is our general fund. So that's our police, our fire, our parks. You can see we started the year out with $197,000. We brought in 1.2. We turned around and spent 1.1. So actually ended the year with $276,000 cash or carryover. The next section down there, they changed the name of those to special purpose funds because they want you to realize that those monies are restricted per se. They're for a purpose. The easiest one to explain would be your parks or your transportation. Sorry, I meant to say that one. Every time somebody in the state of Kansas goes and puts gas in their car, some gas tax goes to the state, turns around and comes back to us based on population. We can't spend that money for anything but streets and alleys. We have a water line go out or a lift station go out on the sewer. Can't spend it for that. Only streets and alleys. And the names there kind of help you define those. You can see like we got public safety, library, those funds collected for the library can only be paid out to the library. Then about halfway down, you've got a bond and interest fund. That's where your bond monies come in. You turn around and make those payments. Then the last section there, they call them business funds. The state of Kansas actually changed that name again like the others, is because they want you to understand that those utilities are treated as a business. There's actually a statute out there that says you can do anything you want with a profit once you pay all the bills of that utility system. Always important that we do have cash carryover, though. We've got to have leveraging. Our infrastructure is getting older, so we've got to have some monies there to be able to do any of those needed repairs with our aging infrastructure. But if you look at the very bottom line, you can see we started the year out with $7.5 million, brought in 21, spent 13. So actually ended the year at $16.3 million, which a majority of that is in your grants fund because you had those bond proceeds that you actually issued for your project. So you've got $8.2 million of bond proceeds sitting there at year end that are waiting to be spent on the project. But as you glance down through there, you're going to see, just looking at beginning to ending on a lot of your funds, you can see we had a positive year. The general fund went from 197 to 276. The sewer fund went from 113 to 134. So able to increase some of our reserves there and have our cash carryover. The last 2 columns there is the expenses that show up in that third column include accounts payable and encumbrances. And so we add those back in to get to a pure cash number. And then those cash numbers are then reconciled on the next page to the actual cash accounts that you have as a city. So questions about that statement? By far, that'll be the one we spend the most of our time on. All right, pages 6 through, it's about 16 or 17. Actually, it's 17. Are the words, the footnotes. It's the words to back up the numbers. Footnote number 1 talks about accounting policies. You pick up probably 95% of the audits in the state of Kansas. We're following regulatory basis accounting. You're going to see those same footnotes. It talks about our property taxes, how we do cash receipts, how we do expenditures. It talks about the budget process. Information that's specific to you, though, starts on page 9 in footnote number 2. The first thing we do talk about is stewardship, compliance, and accountability, in which we had 2 items that we did have to disclose here under Kansas statutes. Our bond payments are required to be to the treasurer's office 20 days prior to their due date. That's just a state statute. The state wants to be able to make sure that they had enough time to make sure all checks clear, all that kind of stuff. I know with EFTs today, it's a little faster, but there's a state statute out there that says they have to be there 20 days ahead of time. One of your 4 payments that you made during the year was actually considered late. It was before the maturity date, but wasn't within that 20-day requirement. The other item there was our treasurer's report. We're supposed to be publishing quarterly treasurer's reports, and they did not get published this last year. And so we need to work on trying to get those published going forward. And
Is that published in the local paper of record?
in the official newspaper of the city. So your official newspaper that you designate at your first meeting of the year, that would be the newspaper you'd want to do that in. I believe it's Gerard.
Yeah, hometown.
Yep.
Okay.
And I know Heather's been working on that because she called me with questions.
Yes,
So I know she's going to get that taken care of, and in the future it will be published. So
Yes, she has.
the top of the next page, let's talk about that footnote real quick. That's deposits and investments. We got $16 million in the bank. We can't just go out and invest in the stock market is basically what it comes down to. They want you to risk, in the state of Kansas, we're limited about how and where we can invest our monies. And I like this paragraph here because it defines and gives you those numbers or those places and vehicles that we can use to invest in. It also does talk about the fact that all of your monies were secured at year end, meaning if a bank would fail, you're a stepped up creditor. That is a requirement by Kansas statute. Footnote number 4 on page 11 is your capital lease that you have out there. I actually like the presentation on the next page better. It combines it with all the other long-term debt of the city. You can see you have your general obligation bonds. You had some temporary notes that were out there, and then the financing lease that you had out there for the tasers. We started the year out with $7 million. We issued 10, paid it down by 1.6. So actually ended the year with a city as $15.6 million of long-term debt or loans or mortgages, however you want to refer to that. Down below that is the payout. It gets kind of small there. There's a lot of years there. We've got the next 5 years because most of your city planning is done in 5-year phases, and then they're in 5-year chunks in all the columns after that. All right, I'm not going to sit and read the rest of the footnotes here to you, so let's turn to page 18. Page 18 is schedule number 1. It's to show users at a glance that we're in compliance with those budget laws. Talked about that public approval a minute ago. You'll do the budget process. You'll go through a public hearing. That's your public approval. When you have individual projects, that's why your construction guys will come back to you with like a $1,500 change order, because they know by law they cannot be paid unless it's approved in a public forum to get that additional $1,500. As you glance down through there, though, the very last column, you can see all of those funds were under the publicly approved budget. Like the top line is the general fund. We published a $1,145,000 budget. We had some budget credits, which are usually refunds. So we had a total budget for comparison of $1,152,000. We spent $1,127,000. So we were actually under our publicly approved budget by $24,277. So you've got all your different funds there listed out that you had through the public process. Pages 19, and it goes all the way back to page 36, is the detail. And we've got a prior year comparison in there. Like on page 19, the very top line is property taxes. They call it ad valorem property tax. You can see in 2023, we collected $416,000 of property taxes. In 2024, we collected $411,000 of taxes. But that next column over is the budget, $449,000. So that's the taxes that you levied as a city this last year. And then the $37,000 in that last column is our citizens that did not pay their property taxes this last year. But the hope is that next line down, delinquent taxes, you can see it was $10,004 in 23, $10,006 in 24. Well, hopefully in 2025, it comes in at $37,000. Hopefully those taxpayers are just behind, which most generally they are. You're going to have all your funds here listed out. They do follow your public state budget form, in which you see and that you're going to be approving coming up here. Expenses are listed out on the next page by the different departments. You can see they were pretty consistent. 1,115,000 in 23, 1,127,000 in 24. All right. In the interest of time, I'm not going to sit and look at each fund with you, but if you do have questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them for you. If we turn all the way back to page 37, this is called the Schedule of Expenditures of Federal Awards. This is because you have more than $750,000 of federal monies that you spent as a city this last year. This next year, it's going to $1 million, but this year it's still at the 750 level. We spent more than $750,000 of federal money. This listed out by the different U.S. departments. We had U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. We had the CDBG grant for $600,000 this last year. Then you've got some Department of Energy grant, Department of Treasury, and then the Department of Agriculture for a total of $1,360,000. That's always a positive because that's coming out of the federal taxpayer's pocket instead of our local taxpayer's pocket. Well, per se, we all pay federal taxes, but it's a lot bigger pocket when you're talking about the federal pocket. Page 38 and 39 is the first of our reports. Because we followed those government auditing standards, there's these additional reports on internal controls and compliance that we're required to issue. As you read through page 38 and 39, you're going to see that report is looking at internal controls and compliance at the upper city level. This is things like bank reconciliations, cash receipts, cash disbursements, those types of issues. As you read through there, you are going to see that we did have one issue that came up, and that is a repeat from the prior year. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. We'll get back here to the findings. Page 40 and 41 takes that down to what they call the major program level, in which we're required to go out and actually test that federal money to make sure that you properly spent it and that you followed all the laws and regulations with the federal money. As you do read through that report, you can see it is an unmodified opinion because we didn't have any problems with the federal money that you spent as a city. Now, page 43 and 44 is where everybody says I should have went in the first place. The federal government does not want to have to flip page by page. So they require a one-page synopsis of everything I just told you. The first bold heading that says financial statements, it was an adverse opinion on GAAP, but an unmodified opinion on the regulatory basis. That was the audit report that was on page 1, 2, and 3. The next bold heading says internal control over financial reporting. That's the report that was on page 38 and 39. You can see it does say we have one material weakness identified, no significant deficiencies, and no non-compliance that's required to be reported under GAS. Then the next report is federal awards. That's the audit report that was on page 40, 41, and 42. You can see no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies. It was an unmodified opinion. There are no findings on the federal level. We talk about the program that we did test as as a major program. And then auditee qualify as a low risk auditee. You are marked as a no. All cities, school districts in the state of Kansas are a no because the federal government does not recognize our regulatory basis of accounting as a legitimate basis of accounting, even though our bonds will actually sell on the market before any other state, because people buying our bonds know that that's the safest way to spend the money with public approval, and you got to have it in the bank. So the top of the next page talks about the finding that we had. That was the same thing that we had in the prior year when we came in to do your audit. Banks were not reconciled, meaning the bank statement were not reconciled to what the general ledger had. We came in, we found several items that we found one large item that was recorded twice. We found some unrecorded interest, found some other items, but those were the two major items that came into play there. We assisted in getting that reconciled, and you've got December 31st, 2024 numbers, and we've made a recommendation that we get some training in that field, and then management take the numbers that we provided and the bank reconciliations we provided and bring them forward. Now you're going to see on page 46, there is a corrective action plan that has been written by your staff, in which they talk about the fact that you are obtaining training from a city nearby with the same accounting software, and feel that these reconciliations will be completed by December 31st, 2025. We have not audited that, but I can tell you that with the questions that Heather's been asking, I know she has been working diligently in trying to get your banks reconciled coming forward. Don't feel like it'll be a problem. I hope it's not a problem in the future. All right, there's a separate letter that was in your board packets. They call this a letter to those charged with governance. It's not one that goes out in the public. A lot of times I refer to it as the presentation letter. Did you guys, I see some blank faces. Did we not get that one?
I didn't get it.
Okay, well, I'll talk pretty general about it.
Yeah.
There should have been a package of audits that had a rubber band around them that had the letter, and then some that didn't. We call it the presentation letter because in the past, if we had any difficulties encountered, disagreements with management, had to consult somebody outside because you're doing something crazy with your records, we would have orally came and talked to you. We get legal involved, and of course, we've got to put it into writing to you to tell you that we didn't have any of those kind of situations that arose. But it's important that you do read through it because it's called a letter to those charged with governance. The third page of that, and actually it's the third and fourth page, that is the adjustments. So where the numbers went from where you last seen them to how they show up in the audit. And then the very last section of that is called the management representation letter. That was the representations that have been made between the auditor and management. We're now required to give you a copy of it. I'm kind of making light of it because it's a boilerplate letter, but I like to refer to it as the reminder letter, because as management looked through it, they should have told me about everything that's in that letter. And as you read through it, there's nothing that was modified in that. It talks about lawsuits, fraud, conflicts of interest, problems with the IRS, problems with the Department of Labor. Again, I'm kind of making light of it. It's a 5-page letter there, but those are the representations that have been made between management and the auditors. There's a lot of information. I talked pretty quick there. What kind of questions do you have?
I have a question on page 43. Non-compliance or other matters required to be reported under government auditing standards. No. What's the threshold for that? How far away are we from reaching a point? And who do you report to? The Treasury, the IRS?
It gets reported. It would get reported in here. Is where it would get reported. And items that non-compliance and other matters required to be reported under government auditing standards really comes down to fraud and abuse. And it's kind of subjective there a little bit. They have named if you take a first class airline as a city, it's supposed to be in here. If you paid for it with federal monies, it would be required to be reported. There's things like that. We found you went to Vegas and stayed in the most expensive hotel. it would be a judgment call, but it would probably be listed here, and then a federal official would make that judgment call about which way it would
So
go.
it has to be real evidence.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
And that is not something, as you read through that letter, first letter, that's not something we test for. That is something that comes to our attention as we're doing all of the rest of our testing.
So on reporting, that means you as the auditor would have to report it, put it in the report.
Yes.
Not, okay, it reaches this point, we're going to report it to the Treasury or the IRS or,
Right.
so it becomes required in your report if it reaches.
That is
level.
correct.
Okay. Okay.
And that's 100% judgment, a judgment call on the auditor's part.
Okay. Thank you.
So the only question I had was, over time, are you able to trend, or can we, because as a citizen, there's a lot of information, but I'm trying to recall, do you guys do that over time where you can tell us if I know we got year to year, but if we're with you long enough, like 5-10 years, can you tell us a summary if we're trending up or down or how we're doing, I guess, as a city?
Right. Which this year shows we're trending up.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, increasing our cash balances is always good. Unfortunately, sometimes it's each council. We do 43 city audits, and of those 43, 32 of them we help them prepare their budgets.
Okay.
And I had several of them that have got some nice, healthy cash balances, but we've got newer commissions on there that are councils that just want to spend the money. They don't think they should have reserves. So it really comes down to, each council's decision about how you want to spend down reserves, or do we want to build up reserves? This year we're trending up because we were able to build up some reserves. And I can always say that reserves are important, because if you go out to try to get a federal grant, or you go out to get one of those revolving loans from the state of Kansas, those low interest loans, they always require a match. And so we've got to have some money to leverage to get the federal dollars in here and to get those state dollars in here to help us as a city. Plus, we have a city right down the road. They had a lift station go out in the sewer system, and the lift station, unfortunately, was 40 foot down. So they had to bring in this special backhoe to get it taken care of. Ended up costing $80,000 to fix a lift station. That's unheard of to me, but that's what it cost because of the special equipment it took. Just one lift station could wipe out your entire sewer balance. So it's important that we try to build up those reserves for our infrastructure at the same time. But right now, you appear to be trending up. I agree.
Yeah.
So when reading this special letter that you gave us,
Uh-huh.
is that showing that each of these adjustments is a finding that you guys went and corrected?
I wouldn't say finding. This was the adjustments to get the numbers to where I say they're materially correct. So recording encumbrances, accounts payable, we've got unrecorded interest in there. You glance down to number 3, that's that sewer ARPA money that got recorded a second time. We had some money for, like, number 4, the county, some of our county money came and got put into the wrong fund. We moved it to the correct fund with the special highway monies. Bond proceeds, number 5. That one's one that we record with a lot of cities, because you don't record the activity of those bonds because the bond company's taking care of it. Unrecorded interest is number 6 there. You can see the final adjustment to cash there on number 7. That was after we found everything. That was the final adjustment. Recording accounts payable, accrued wages. Your employees work in December but don't get paid till January. For Kansas cash basis, that gets recorded back to December against that budget. So that's in there. Those are probably some of the biggest ones there that go the furthest to make this look like it's a really long list. Like number 15 is back of that page, clear up halfway down that page is accounts payable for the year with the accrued wages and the accounts payable.
I mean, I'm glad you could get us back to where we need to be. I mean, it's great.
I've got another question on page 43.
Yes, sir.
The last one, auditee qualified as a low-risk auditee.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That is correct.
So we are not a low-risk.
Well, number one is we do not follow GAAP, and the federal government does not recognize
Okay.
the Kansas cash basis and budget laws.
Okay.
That's where I'd said earlier where our bonds, it's kind of crazy because our bonds will sell first on the open market in the state of Kansas because of our basis of accounting, but yet the federal government doesn't recognize it yet.
Okay.
So to be clear.
'Cause of
we're
federal
required-
government rules.
We're required to do a cash basis every year. Every city in the state of Kansas has to do that. He's saying the federal standard does not recognize that as a valid, proper way to do it, so they have to say that in the report. Am I-
You are correct.
For
Yes.
every
Every city.
entity in Kansas,
Every
because
city
of,
in the state of Kansas.
Every city and school district. School districts are actually required by law to do that regulatory basis. And so, yes.
There's a couple of cities in Kansas that do follow GAAP.
Yep. Wichita, Olathe, and Pittsburgh used to, but I think they've quit. They've quit doing it now because it's very expensive.
So it's always going to turn up on a report that it's low risk because we're cash basis, which we do.
Okay.
It's the best way to keep everything
Yeah.
so the public knows what's going on.
Are there any repercussions on where you said we were in the, I don't know the right term. Basically, we were in trouble because we weren't within the 20-day period. Is there anything that could turn into be?
Well, it's not a penal statute, so nobody's going to jail. Nobody's getting prosecuted over it.
That's good.
The thing you'd have to worry about is your bondholders getting upset, and it could hurt your rating, which would then in turn eventually hurt your interest rate of a newer bond later down the road.
Okay, so what you're saying is as soon as we get that straightened out, then that shouldn't
Right.
be
We just got
detrimental.
to have, by the time the state sends us our invoice, it's usually too late. We've got to be planning as a city to know that our payments are coming due. We need to make sure that we pay them. I would always approve them the month prior. That way you can get them out because you're going to approve the bill first. So it's important that you approve that at least the month before it's due because of that 20-day
we are
requirement.
improving. 2023, I was reading, we were 3 out of 4 late.
Yep.
And so in 2024, we were 1 out of 4. So we're making headway there.
Making headway.
And we, like you say, we weren't late on the actual redemption date. We're just late
Right.
on the 20 days.
We're late according to the state
In the
statute.
state, we're late.
Yes.
Okay.
And they've not
That's
updated
important.
that statute for years. EFTs are next day, but they're still on the old days of a check clearing and all the process there. And so,
That's important. Thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions we have.
All right, those are good questions, guys.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
One more question for you.
Yes.
Did I misunderstand when you said Jared Gilmore Phillips does the budgets for some cities?
Yeah, well, we say we assist you in doing them, but yes, we do the budget for quite a few cities, 32 of them.
Oh, okay.
Plus we do 8 counties.
Interesting. Okay. I was thinking back of,
Well, you got to think about the fact the auditors have the right format, have the numbers to bring
Yeah.
it forward. And then you as a council would sit down and help do projections and your wish list. That's really how we do it is we give you history of this is where we think it should be. And then you tell us what you want to do once you get past that point.
so
Do you want to
consult-
give raises? Do you want
consult on city budgets, or you design city budgets for cities?
to?
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Both.
Sounds like.
Very interesting. Made me think of Enron, where the auditors were doing the taxes. Different. That's a different thing.
Nope. I don't set no mill levies. I don't make no approvals. I show you what the numbers are and then you guys get to make any decisions.
Very good.
Making you the bad guy. You better sit
Yeah.
down before you get in trouble.
No, I'm one of the worst because when I stand up, I'm a proponent of somebody on a fixed income needs to see a small increase every year. If you increase somebody's taxes or their utilities by $5 or let's say $20 a year over 5 years, they can afford that better than they can afford $100 hit in year 5.
Right.
So small increases really helps the public, in my opinion. And I get shot in the back a lot of times for that, but that's a true statement in my opinion, because costs are going to rise. And so we've got to raise rates at some point. Rates and taxes have got to go up.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'm going to sneak out, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item B, Eagle Scout proclamation.
Spencer, just stand by you while you read it.
Do what?
Do you want him up there while you read it?
Yeah,
And we'll take
maybe the-
pictures.
Parents,
Okay.
since Spencer's,
Oh, Spencer's not here.
okay, City of Girard proclamation. Whereas Spencer Gabehart, in the effort to secure the status of Eagle Scout, and whereas Spencer replaced 2 barbecue grills at Girard Winston Park, and whereas Spencer led the project to demo 2 old barbecue grills and raise funds to purchase supplies that he was unable to get donated to construct 2 new barbecue grills. Whereas Spencer demonstrated leadership ability by managing this project, and whereas the City of Girard would like to express its gratitude to Eagle Scout Spencer Gabehart for understanding this project, which helped beautify our park. Now, therefore, I, Mickey Pyle, Mayor in and for the City of Girard, Kansas, do hereby proclaim August 16th, 2025 as Spencer Gabehart Day in the City of Girard, Kansas, dated this 11th day of August, 2025.
We'll present it to him on Saturday.
Nice job. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Spencer Gabler.
Gayport.
Moving on to item C, appoint Gene Nichols to Library Board to serve term set to expire in April 2029.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we appoint Gene Nichols to the Library Board to serve a term set to expire April 2029.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, appoint Jim Rodman to Library Board to serve a term set to expire April 2029.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we appoint Jim Rodman to the Library Board to serve as a term set to expire April 2029.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item E, Phase 2 sidewalk and C-clip update.
Do what? We had our walkthrough for the highway. I can't remember because we discussed both projects. So, a couple weeks ago, Jackie and I attended. The KDOT engineers attended. Our engineers attended. We had a lot of discussion about the drainage issue around where the Fishers live, and they came in and complained about it. They all looked at it. They have a few ideas, and the head guy in charge at KDOT suggested that we bid out both of those projects at the same time. They're both KDOT funded, and they're both concrete. So it'll be, Highway 7 Summit, north of the 4-way stop to the end of the city limits will be concrete. And then we also have a sidewalk project that's going to go along the highway on the west. They're 2 separate projects, but each project could have an impact on the drainage So the KDOT guy and Jackie and I want them to work together to try to come up with a good solution for the drainage. Anyways, the update is that to bid those out together, he wants to bid them out in January. So we were going to bid one out in October and the other in January. He wants to push them both to January. And we're fine with that.
Who's the he that wants to do this? The KDOT?
Hugh Bogle with KDOT, yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think I have another update on that. We did get awarded for the highway south of the four-way stop for a mill and overlay. That will be probably late 26.
Yeah, that was antelope to four-way stop.
Yes. We had also asked when we met with our engineers for the highway project that we're going to bid out in January, if we could add an addendum. I think we'll probably have to ask KDOT for permission as well, because if you've noticed to the east of the four-way stop, it's getting ripply. And we think that's from the semis coming down, hitting their brakes right there. So we think we need to extend the concrete. So she was going to send me a cost estimate on that, and then we'll decide based on cost if we want to just foot the bill for that, or if we want to wait and have apply for another KDOT grant to where they will kick in some of the costs. Or because the other thing, and you probably noticed it in the audit, we have a big amount of money in the transportation fund. We have been letting that roll over because these interior water lines, we were supposed to be doing a road project when that was done. And of course, we've had a lot of delays on that. So we want to keep that a big amount in there so that we can do. And Jackie and I had also discussed hiring a firm, which Earl's Engineering will do it, to go through and core, because I think you brought it up, Daryl, at the last meeting, where they had went through and audited the roads to see if they needed pavement restoration or if they could just do a mill and overlay. I talked to Terry. He said the council had discussed that in the past and never done it. So if that's something we're interested in doing, because I know we mill and overlaid Cherokee, I think in 2018. It might have been after, but it's just fallen apart. So I do think at least some of our roads need cored. So I'll probably get a quote for that, bring it back to you guys. You guys decide what you want to do on that one, because for the water lines, we're ready to roll on that. We're waiting on USDA's final approval, which I know we met with them today, not USDA, but our engineers, and they said they had followed up with Fisher again today trying to get that approved. But I think that probably gets kicked up to the federal level for final approval. So, and Jackie had already met with them, and I said you had already met with the engineers to go through the bid documents and found some things that needed change. So I think that's where we're at on project Stainless Steel Mile. We had our pre-construction conference today, and the contractor, they're ready to go. We're waiting on the performance and bid bonds. So any
it's-
questions about?
On the stainless steel mile, is that the one where once they start, Midwest will have someone on site?
Yeah.
Or-
We met him. His name's Kevin.
Okay, so he'll be the one that does the
Mhm.
kind of what Earl's did with the sidewalk. They just
The
check and
inspection,
they
yep.
do.
They'll
Okay.
be, yes. And a lot of like state and federal money, if you have state and federal money in your project, they're going to require that you have those inspectors on site.
Okay.
So
And he's a stickler.
he was. I think he's going to be a good inspector for us.
Met him today. I think he's gonna be fine.
Was,
He told him he doesn't give weather days. I thought
Yeah,
that was
I thought
kind
that
of
was
funny because
interesting.
we're like, well, if it's raining, you get a weather day. And he's like, I don't get weather days. I'm like, okay.
It's a hurricane.
Yeah.
was Mike Fisher involved with the discussion on the why, so that he's clear on which side of the property line will be improved and which might be his
They
responsibility?
don't.
Yeah, on the
No.
KDOT thing, on the why.
They have 2 or 3 possible solutions, so I don't know which one they're going to go with. They haven't decided
Mike
yet.
called me that day that they were there, and he couldn't make it, and his wife couldn't make it. They wanted to discuss it with the KDOT people, but they couldn't make it in town. So he wasn't there when they were there. If that's your question.
Okay. And I don't think Hugh would be the one to discuss that with. Maybe Elizabeth if they wanted to talk to her. So,
Because when I looked at it, there was part of it, the problem was literally on what I thought was his property. I mean, our intersection does need drainage help, no doubt about it. But as long as we're clear. So,
The bump out is not his property.
is what?
The bump out's not his property.
Okay.
yeah, and we discussed, I mean, they're aware. Not the Fishers. I mean, we let the engineers know what was Fishers and what was ours. That's all I have. If you guys don't have any other questions.
Is there a date when we might see the boring machine down on the stainless steel mile? Is there,
We're just waiting on the performance and bid bonds. They're hoping to have all of that this week. Jack, didn't they think they were probably going to be able to start beginning of September?
I'd say within the next 10 days, they're gonna give us a start date, and it depends on the material, and they don't know yet. They think they're gonna be able to get everything.
First part of next month.
we're getting close. Good
Yeah,
good news.
that's such good news. Our guys won't be out there fixing leaks constantly.
I will be out there watching them. Okay, thank you.
Okay, no further on that. We'll move on to item F. Discuss GACF grant application and approved letter of support for Activity Center Park.
Okay, I have a letter of support. I was wanting you guys to sign. I don't know if that's in your folder, Mickey. Lucas and I had discussed, we usually apply for GACF, it's Girard Area Community Foundation grants. And we've had the activity center open for a while now in partnership with the school. Some of the attendees have requested different types of equipment on your Dropbox. I believe, did I put it on there? Some pictures and prices. That's what I was going to write for. The letter of support is required. So if you guys sign that, I can finish that grant application. It's not actually due till the end of September. Our other potential Eagle Scout was also wanting to write for this. We have on behalf of, or through the city, I guess. I don't know how to say that accurately. We have done that for different departments. Like we've written more than one GACF grant a year. Like one year we got grant funds for the golf and the pool. So I can do two if you guys are fine with it. Okay. Otherwise, I don't need a motion or anything. I don't think. I just need the letter signed by everybody.
See it in
And
there, but
Steve,
I'll
I
let
put you on it too. It's on cover letter. We put it in there, didn't we?
I'm not on that letter. I'm looking at it.
I didn't see it in there.
How-
but I
Oh,
can
you're
look
not?
for it.
How
I
was
thought I
the
added you.
equipment decided on is this,
All of us plus Jackie and you.
It's just things that have been requested. There's a
Okay.
lot of weight equipment down there right now and not a lot.
so this is their short
You're
list?
right, I didn't put you on it. Put Jackie on it.
Didn't you?
Yeah, Dennis, there's a lot of free weights, and so cable machines have been requested.
And they're safer, or
Yeah.
that's how you explained
Yeah,
it to me,
yeah, it can be-
especially for maybe the older generations going
Yeah.
up there.
People going by themselves
Yeah, even people going by
because
themselves
they don't have a
too.
spotter. They don't have.
And I talked to Todd and he's good with it. We
Yeah,
found
this
the
one,
letter.
this one's for everybody to sign.
Yeah. So if you guys all sign it and then I'll get it, if you leave it in the folder, I'll get it tomorrow or Wednesday or whenever and finish that up.
Okay,
That's all I needed.
seems reasonable.
Thank you on that.
Yep, no problem.
Jackie.
He's not.
Jackie.
Oh, you got the letter.
That's why I was trying to get him to come up here.
Oh.
That's what this meant. Here you go, Dennis. Thank you.
Yeah. How about that brush pile?
Okay, moving on, to item G, update on brush pile.
Oh, we are locking the gate on the brush pile again, opening it when we have staff here. We have continuously been getting prohibited items, I guess, in the brush pile. The cameras that Crawcan installed, they're not, I guess they don't see adequately at night. Heather went through all of the camera footage, and it's hard to make out like plates or physical characteristics. Like we can tell people are going in there. Our lagoon boat got stolen, and I'm assuming they've figured out that we can't see on the cameras very well, and they're just going in the middle of the night. Lucas, we were talking about a night vision camera or putting better lights out there. We already have lights out there. We still can't see. Anyways, we're working on it. We'll get it fixed when we get it to where we can properly see. We'll open it back up to what it was before. Just thought that you guys might get some calls, so wanted to let you guys know what was going on. It's not residential trash that's being out there, so we're not being able to go through addresses. It's more like construction material trash.
What's to close the gate's not a big effort, is it? What I might suggest is just my personal opinion, maybe after dark, if you could have maybe somebody from the police department or somebody that's working, whatever, to go down, close the gate
That's a good
after
idea
dark.
too.
Keep them out after dark. That way it'll give people the opportunity from, say, when they get off work till dark to, if they want to go out there. And then after that, there's really no reason, I would think, for it to be open after dark.
All the offenders
True.
coming after dark, or they coming?
Yeah, they're coming when it's dark out. So I mean that's a fair solution too, if Jesse's fine with it and Jackie.
I'll work out a schedule with them. We've been doing it at 4 o'clock because that's when we take off, but I mean, trash every day. A stolen vehicle was dumped back there. A boat was stolen. So there's some pretty shady goings on there by leaving it open all night. We were reluctant, but we didn't see any other choice.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item I, accept bids for demolition of 601 East Forest.
We
There,
got
we have
about
H.
H.
Okay, H, approved backhoe repair.
There you go.
I think, did they get the quotes on this?
Yeah.
It's in Dropbox.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial bill, and I apologize for that, but part of the reason is, the way you're supposed to do this is, as stuff breaks, fix it. And don't wait till the last minute. Kind of like the auditor was saying, the $5, instead of hitting them with $100, well, this is your $100 hit. I asked when I sent it up there for everything to be addressed. This is a 7-year-old machine that's been damaged over the years, or
It's the one
has
that was electrocuted.
substantial problems with the like the front left four-wheel drive doesn't work. The air conditioner hadn't worked in several years, and a lot of people say, well, why do you need air conditioning? Just let them do it without.
Huh.
You have air conditioning because of the electronics in there. You keep the windows shut to keep the dust out. We can probably whittle away and try to fix this and try to fix that and lower the bill, but I thought it was best just to do it all at once and do it right. We collected some money from Purple Wave not long ago that should cover this bill. So I would like to get this thing done and done right. And that's why it's was brought up. I said, I mean, over the years they knock a light off, and well, they didn't fix it. They dropped the door on the hood and didn't fix it. But that's the reason all of a sudden it's a pretty substantial bill. So
I say fix it.
You need a motion. Mr. Mayor, I need a motion on this.
Yep, it's above my spend
It's not a
authority.
spending limit, that's why you guys are looking at it. So, Dennis, you want to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we accept the estimate to fix the equipment as stated by our Public Works Director.
The amount.
What do you got? You get
Oh,
the
you
amount.
can.
You need the amount, so
What's the amount?
For
27,
for
27.
$27,341.61.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, that means, according to our rules, you have the, okay. You have to cast it over.
Okay, the way I feel about it and stuff, if we've got the funds there from our Purple Wave surplus sale, I believe that
Okay.
I'm going to bid yes.
All right.
How much did we get off that Purple Wave? That
It
doesn't seem
was,
like
it was 20 something. We have reserve funds too, right? He can pay for it that way if he wants.
some of this.
So I guess you'll show the motion does pass.
Motion passed.
If this was a machine that was electrocuted, I mean, is it even?
Moving on to item E, accept bids for demolition of 601 East Forest, 411 South Cherokee, 304 West Buffalo, 309 West Buffalo. And the bids to be due at 2 p.m. on Friday, 9/5 of 2025.
And then we'll consider them, open them at the meeting on the 8th.
Yes, it'll be opened on the 8th.
Mr. Mayor, motion that we open to accept bids for demolition for 601 East Forest, 411 South Cherokee, 304 West Buffalo, 309 West Buffalo. Bids are due by 2 p.m. on September 5th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item J, consider donating bicycles in police custody.
Chief Snyder gave me our ordinance that says what procedure we have to follow to do this. I think we need a motion. Did I happen to upload that?
So if you
That's it.
guys, Chief, if you want to chime in here, under our code 10-203, and many cities have this, if we have property that the police department takes custody of, however they take custody, at some point we can dispose of it after 90 days. We have several
33, I believe.
33 bicycles,
Some back from 2001.
dating back to 2001. So
Really?
the code says if they're less than $100, they can be donated or disposed of in a manner which benefits the public, as approved by a majority of the council. So that's why we're here.
No.
Chief, you propose to do what with the bicycles?
We got a hold of Brian Johnson through Drawer Chamber. He works with Restore More. They fix up bicycles and they hand them out to kids. He's accepted to come over and pick them up and go fix them and hand them out.
That seems to be a pretty good public purpose.
And there's no charge to
No charge.
any of it. That sounds great.
Who does that again?
Brian Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So we just need a motion to allow the chief to do that, and I think that we need our ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we allow the police to donate the 33 bicycles that they currently have in their custody to Brian Jackson to fix or repair in such ways, and then donate back to children in need of them.
It's donated to children in Girard, right?
Not always.
Not
I believe
always,
he's based
okay.
out of Pittsburgh, so wherever they take him.
Okay. Sorry.
We need a second.
I second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item K, appoint Cliff Scales as KMGA board member.
You doing
Is he not?
Oh, yeah, close.
that?
Isn't he already on it?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I motion that we appoint Cliff Scales as KMGA board member.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item L, open bids for city trash service.
Mr. Mayor, that's, to be clear, that's not for city-wide trash service.
That's for the city.
For the city of Girard.
Okay, is this their bid or is this our?
No, that's what we have currently that we could choose to keep versus you should have a bid up there.
How many bids we have?
We have one plus what we have currently.
Okay, and the one bid we got was from Fourth State Sanitation out of Fort Scott. Okay, they've itemized it down to what we need and everything, and we'll let Jackie in city office look at it and stuff, but what their grand total for the service is $934.50 monthly.
Do you guys want us to call them, see if they can do better price?
Why?
They're more expensive than cards, but we've been having
Well,
issues with
cards
cards.
is
It's hard.
$1,104 a month.
That's
That's, I think their billing's messed up. I have to call them every month. Their billing is never right. They charge us late fees, they charge us additional, then they credit us back.
sometimes we're inactive in their
Sometimes we're inactive in
system.
their system. I don't know how we get on the inactive list and they don't come pick us up.
And it was
or-
more per month. What'd you
So-
say, 11?
Well, it isn't actually more per month. I think the bill's just wrong a lot.
Okay,
And Heather
this
has
bill-
to call and
This bill
fix
that
it.
you had here is,
We have to they messed up. I mean, I paid them in July. I don't think they have that credited back or on that bill. So now
Okay.
they're saying we owe for
So
2
did they
months.
even bid this?
No.
So-
That's just our current bill that they just sent me.
But we can stay with them for the price that we're at right now.
Right.
Get what I'm
We don't
saying?
know if it's the
But
same.
we don't know if it's the same price if they're not
Until they-
charging us right.
If they're not
So
charging.
since they
Is-
didn't even send us a bid for this project, wouldn't it just be easy to switch over at this point?
And the new
just tell
bid is
them that they didn't
900?
Bid it?
What's our monthly
Okay,
supposed
what
to
they're
be
doing,
for cards?
934.
theirs is actually,
Is that reasonable to you? I mean, you have an idea of what the correct dollar amount should be, even if their bill is wrong?
We might want Terry's opinion. What was the bid for?
934.
934.
934.
Do we want to get Terry's opinion?
Do what?
Would we want to get Terry's opinion? Go ahead.
The lady that brought that in, she did state that no matter how much trash we had, or if we had a big full bin versus a small, or, not a full bin, our bill will be that amount across the board, no matter what
Is
it
this a
is.
Fourth State one?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then she did say where I think Terry had maybe itemized the thing where we, in this summer and spring, maybe, we have 2 pickups a week on
Mhm.
certain ones. During the winter and fall, when we don't have those, it would go down however much that charge
Those
is.
were-
So if it's,
So it can be
$40
less.
or whatever it is, times 2, it'd be $80 less than what it is on the thing.
So if we,
However,
if we can call them and they can do something better, that's awesome, but they're truthfully the only ones that bid this. So I think that that's an
I
easy,
think cards didn't bid because they were saying we'll just keep it status quo.
well, the status
Not a new
quo's not
bid.
been very good as what we're
Yeah, I
hearing.
think Heather's,
And you're not the only one with
Fed up.
that opinion that I've read.
Well, I have other things to do with my time than to call and argue with them every month to try to get billing situated.
Are there any penalties for leaving cards? I mean, are we on the contract or anything?
mm-mm.
Month to month.
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As well.
Motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to change our trash service to Four States Sanitation of Fort Scott.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item M, executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss job audit funding centers.
Mr. Mayor, motion would go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss job audit funding centers. Recommend a 10-minute session to include mayor, council, city attorney, city administrator.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
big nothing.
Well, we do have a lot.
Yeah.
I said you go.
The distance that they're talking about from the work session.
Is that they should, like, it's like, I said, it's something, it's someone, when too close to me, and she gets her something.
You guys get a picture of all you guys before you leave?
Yeah,
certainly.
Yes, of
Let's do that. See if we can get it.
That she should have had.
Just me.
So.
They're coming.
That's the old one.
Must have taken a nap because that was.
I just go fast.
Call the meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, motion we go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss job audit funding centers. Recommend a 10-minute session to include mayor, council, city attorney, and city administrator.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
As it don't waste any water. Well, the valves don't work, so we don't have to open all the hydrants. We did that the other day, and I couldn't keep up. The plant was, the water tower was just doing this. So we fixed it. And now I'm gonna stick.
Where are they at?
North, because he doesn't have control. It's gonna be nasty. Then
Right here by the bikes.
they're sitting back on the property. At least part of the.
Board off.
This is why I feel
And my dad makes a little pancake batter from scratch. Oh, by the way, you know most cereals are made from scratch. My dad makes mine from scratch.
To see right now.
We already have.
Call the meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, I move we go into executive session for contractual to discuss agreement with county. Recommend a 7-minute session to include mayor, council, city attorney, city administrator, and police chief.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
city had a meeting, and hopefully starter was right. There's one
Call the meeting back to order.
Mayor, can I get a motion to remit payment to the sheriff's office? Because we need something to document with the auditor.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, motion that we remit payment to the sheriff's department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, with no further regular business, we'll go to governing body comments. Vanessa?
Just want to say that everybody's going back to school and things are getting ready to move fast. Mornings are going to be hectic, so please be careful. Children will be riding their bikes to school, be walking, doing all those things. So preach to your children the proper side of the street to be walking on, have their helmets on, make sure that they lock their bikes so that they're secure. They might become one of those 33 bikes that Jesse's going to turn over and get fixed and go to another child. But please take care of your children. Please make sure they're doing what they need to do. Make sure they have a place to go after school that's not just dropping them off the library or somewhere like that. So just be a great parent. Aside from that, the swimming pool will be closing, so get those last hurrahs in. With this weather, people haven't been golfing, but golf season will shut down shortly afterwards. So just enjoy the rest of your summer as much as you can. With that being said, I did notice at the pool the other day when we attended that there's a ladder at the pool that's taped off with caution tape. No idea. Okay, so that's something we need to look into and make sure that our children are safe. I had another question about pool parties and how that goes and how that's paid out, but I will get with you on that. I really don't have anything. I want to thank everybody for doing a great job. I know that Jackie's had a lot on his plate, but we're working on those street signs, right, Jackie?
Yes.
I've seen a few go up and they're bright and shiny and easy to read. We definitely appreciate that. Also, just want to thank all the staff here in the office. I know that they do a lot of paper pushing and number crunching, and I don't think they get enough thanks. So I appreciate what you do and keeping us all busy. Heather, I know it's hard. We saw the audit today, so hopefully this year you'll get it in your hands and you'll touch every number on there, and it'll be cleaned up and nice for us. So I appreciate your hard work. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Lucas?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to add, thank you for everybody in attendance and also the little ones for sticking out. I know this is probably super exciting. You could be watching cartoons, or at least it's not homework, right? So that's going to start soon. Other than that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis?
I'd just like to say from the citizens of Girard, I'd like to thank Mr. Mark Pearson from Springfield, Missouri, for the work in the restoration of the rug loom at the Girard History Museum. So it's just another piece that makes our museum worth going to. If you haven't been there for a while, it's worth it to go see what we've changed and what's getting better. I'd also like to send a thank you to Chief Snyder and his officers. It's been great to see an increased police presence around Girard. I'm seeing more patrols going on. It makes us all feel a lot safer. Thank you. Thanks for that. And Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl?
I wanted to once again congratulate Mr. Is it Gabehart for his Eagle Scout status. It's a great accomplishment.
Yep.
And proud to have him from Girard. thank Jackie. I have seen some potholes being filled, plus the signs being done. So, we're on your case all the time. So when we see progress, I want you to get your due reward, or just reward, however you want to put it. Cliff, I see you're putting poles up north of town. So we're moving forward on the Highway 7 project. That's great. And police and fire guys doing a great job. Appreciate everything you do. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, and I just want to reiterate what the council members have said and everything, and tell the workers they're doing, keep up the good work and everything, be safe out there, and we'll just keep moving forward. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's it. All right. Hey,
I gotta
Joe.
go Kansas City.
We're off. Heather, are we off?
Careful. Rainy all the way, you know?